My very warm welcome to all of you here, the founding and alliance families of the BFI. It is for me really a big, it's very nice for me to celebrate today the 5th anniversary of SMU's Business Families Institute.
I'm really proud, really proud that today we are celebrating our 5th anniversary. Many steps, as Stephen says, but I call it my 4G to start. It gives us the vision, it gives us the mission, and it gives us the challenge because Robert Yap, when we first talked to him, he says, let's up the probability of many of our Asian families going beyond the 3rd generation.
So we think about family business. When I think about it, I think about succession and governance. But again, I want to change that into entrepreneurship. But I want to give you this counterexample here. Do you know who this happy guy is? He runs probably one of the oldest organizations in the world. Francis, right? Why is he happy and why is he Pope? Because of this guy, okay? Did you know he's still alive? So this is Pope Benedict. So here is and you would think, well, you can't have another Pope until the other Pope dies, right? But no. So part of the issue of succession is it's always socially constructed, and part of it is to think about when next generations move on and let the other ones be, as we know, Francis, very entrepreneurial, So
the families plan for their, the career planning is often looked at, especially with the professors like me. We think about career planning for our junior generation. We think it's our duty to train our junior, to help them. But career planning is equally important for the current generation.
Everything is available to the doorstep. So our women also wanted us to start the business school for rural women because they said that it's not that only we want access to finance, we need a control on finance, but we also need to advance our skills. So we have everything at doorstep. So we have a school on wheels which goes to the villages and help women to get the different skill set of the training on skill set.
I'm going to push the two things I think that are really key. One is this issue of legacy, but it's also about history. So I think actually one of the things, and I know STEP is about this, is about providing histories of families in terms of how they work. And I think there's real key aspects about the nature of processes. So what did family members do over time that made their businesses successful? Those are the clues that we need in legacy in terms of how to solve problems. Again, it's doing rather than being. So historians, I think, are really key. Histories of family businesses provide clues about how to be successful in the future.
The answer to the question of what is the next generation of Singaporean or Asian or this region families, leaders, if you want to be a leader in entrepreneurship from now to I think 2030 is the time we had, the word that came up very frequently was humility.
I think one of the dichotomies or one of the challenges is very often the older generation who wants to let the younger generation go free doesn't really understand in today's world with the ever-changing society what it is that they're actually looking to do with the family business, because they're thinking of things that are somebody sort of my age and older can't necessarily comprehend.
They look at family business and say, oh, family business, I think, you won't last very long, so, that kind of thing. So, and you may not be professionally run, that kind of connotation. So when I was a younger, I'm still young, I'm a younger person, at a point of time, I feel that, you feel a bit like, when you say I'm a family business, you don't feel proud, right? But ever since that, I mean, in the last many years, I've always been propagating that actually we should be very proud.
So what my father taught me, other than being very entrepreneurial and always be the first to come into a new platform, and if you can't find the first, then create a new platform to be the first in that new platform. And so this is something I've learned. And number two thing is that business is you are only successful if other people allow you to succeed. Meaning your customers, your shareholders, your bankers, because they trust you. and they respect you, and you have integrity.
Entrepreneurs, actually, as Robert say, it happens that something is changing. So you have to adapt to changing. And then we have to learn from doing not only good, but we have to do it great and all the business.
I think the first is about the purpose, the why. You know, this was touched on a number of times in the discussions before. But understanding the why we do what we do. Why are we in business? And you know, for us, it's the concept of stewardship. The understanding that what we have isn't ours. We're merely stewards of it. You know, and we're entrusted to take care of it, to be good stewards of it, and to ultimately benefit society.
Essentially, what is tied behind how you do business, the values of how you transact any business transaction, whether you have been fair to all parties, whether all parties that you deal with make money or been treated fairly. I think that family name is where your company is associated with. It's priceless.
And now it's really about how can we take this business and look at capitalism in a new way, and how do we think about changing the way, like, it's not just about earning money, how do we integrate some social aspect into our business?
Asking myself that what kind of resources I need more. Do we need more money? Do we, because for the last 25 years we haven't borrowed any single cent from the bank. So I say that, but we need more practice. We need more professional management. We need more global view. There's something that we need more. So considering to welcome outsider joining a part of our business is a very good option for the longer generation.
So I think that the bigger point is that, you know, as managers of the business, as stewards of the business, the transformation of culture and the invisible assets around leadership, around culture, around aspiration, the hardest things are the most invisible. And I think that is always the biggest challenge for any next generation.
So what the businesses are going to look like in the next 10 years, possibly is very different. What the leadership will be, could be very different. So it's the journey that's the fun bit. If you talk about trauma of change, when you have to sell a company that your grandfather planted a tree there and you're visiting for the last time, it can be very emotional. But we believe in the best owner principle. So businesses come, businesses go, businesses get killed off. And it is always a continuous journey. And that's the fun of life.
Nicole here in SMU. We have the Research Center for Family Business since 2004. I think since the family business in China developed only after the reform, that is since 1980s. So most of the family business still in the first generation. And now more and more family business is in the transition, succession from the first to second generation. I have found that a lot of family business, they have only one child, but on the other hand, the one child wants to start a new business. They were left at the hometown to gather together in Shanghai or in Beijing. So I would like to ask, what if such situation happened also in your family or in your countries, what kind of suggestion you were made?
Of course, we can see this kind of networking, also meeting spouses and everything. But at the same time, I think these kind of networking, meeting of minds is important. Yeah, rather than just focusing, on the day-to-day problem. Because I think a lot of the earlier gens also realize that whenever they pass on to the next generations, it's not based on blood anymore. It's based on merit. So when the next gen, they really want to help the family business, if they carry the family values, I think that would definitely bring a lot of values to the family, not only to the business.
Okay, why we only kept the name and why we only kept the
the companies that we were dealing with when we transformed the business was, we asked ourselves one day very seriously, what was the value of the company? Was the value of the company the inventory that we were holding, for example? So was the value of the company the inventory of watches that you're holding? Was the value of the company the retail outlets that you have? Was the value of the company the control of the supply chain? Was the value of the company what? Once we find out the value of the company, we realized that the company wasn't what we thought it was. That we had something more within the company. We were not just a distributor company. The value was different. Then we took out every other thing that was not valuable and we focused on that was valuable and we transformed that. So the value of us was our customers' relationship. It wasn't our inventory. That's why I could kill off the inventory, I could kill off the business, I just kept the companies.
So I have to show them, prove them that no matter what job I can do, so as you. You know, it's not because I am a vice president of the park and I can't do the job that it's a job in the park, so you shouldn't mind to do anything. So that my dad, he's established the park by himself, so he don't have to tell everyone to love him, but everyone willing to love and listen to him. But how could he pass that to me? How could he pass trust and, you know, and belief into the daughter or son? So he can't do it.
At the age of 46, I went into business, started Target Asset Management. My business is manage people's money, so help people make money so that I can share part of it. And I practice value investing. Now, value investing is very simply that you buy something that's cheap, and then when it's become expensive, you sell. But what is cheap? Normally things are cheap is because people don't want to look at it. So it's an overlooked sector. Stocks that people overlook. Why I'm explaining this, because it helps me how I set up Silent Foundation later on.
Just think, water is the money. So if there's a money in front of you in the round Beijing, if you try to get money towards yourself, what happens? It's a water. All the money is slipped out from your fingers, then go somewhere else. If you try to push the water towards somebody else, then the water will come back to you as a result. That's why if you want to be profitable, try to push the value towards somebody else. Then money will come back to you at the end. So that's the philosophy provided by, and actually created by the Konosuke Matsushita, founder of the Panasonics.
In a country like the Philippines or India, where my father is from, there's a lot of people who are extremely dependent. Entire ecosystems are very dependent on your business and what you do. So villages, towns will crop up around your place of business. And so you have a responsibility to not only your bottom line, but of course the triple bottom line, what we were talking about here today, is the people who work for you.
Why I could be right now the best and the most competitive ceramic industry, not only in Indonesia, but all over the world, the lowest cost producer, is because of the innovation and always do things out of the box. Number one, what do I do? What do I mean by think out of the box in the ceramic industry? Normally people, when they are starting something new, they will try to buy as cheap as possible the machinery. But myself, I'm not. I started with the best. Yeah, the most expensive and the most easiest friendly users.
Not practice with instant gratification in mind, to build for the future. If you work in that way, then you're going to have a model that will be long-lasting, and always take care of your people, because then they will take care of you. We're a family business, but we have to respect everybody as professionals, and we're professionally run.
This sort of giving attitude within family members. We don't know how it happens. And suddenly, from you could have start foundation, philanthropic foundation, but to me, what's important is how you open up their heart. How to give with an open heart. How do we encapsulate encouraging new family members to think that we do live in a society, like what Prof say. We have to be cognizant of the society within us.